Yikes, it's a lot of work. I'll get back to it. My name is Pete, and welcome to my garage. Hi, welcome to Pete's Garage. Typically, I'll do videos, a step-by-step instruction, but today I'm going to do something a little bit different because this job is huge and it would have taken probably 10 videos to cover. So, I just wanted to bring to people's attention why certain repairs cost so much money. In this case, this is a 2014 Ford Taurus and it's got a 3.5 liter V6 in it, and it had a bad coolant leak and it needed a water pump. And typically a water pump isn't that big of a deal, right? A couple $100 and you're out the door. Well, not so on this engine, and I'll show you why. And this maybe shed some light why, if you are an owner of one of these vehicles, whenever you bring it to the dealership or a shop, then they charge you about $1,400 to fix this. Maybe you'll understand why. Could be a design issue, but we'll talk about that here in just a second. Let's take a look at it. So here is our water pump that is on this engine, and this one was leaking, and you can see right there it doesn't have a typical pulley. And that's because instead of driven by the serpentine belt, it is actually driven by the timing chain. So it's behind the timing chain cover. Now to get to that is very difficult. You got to take the upper intake off, valve covers off, front cover off. You have to take the timing chains, which means with this dual overhead cam system, you have to have special tools and everything. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's a huge undertaking. Okay, here's the old water pump. And what happens is there's bearings inside here, so as this turns, it can turn freely. However, when those bearings end up going bad, there's a lot of play and a lot of slop. And you can see, look at this impeller right there. See how it's moving? So all that play allows coolant to get past the seal, and then it follows this channel down through a weep hole, and then it comes out behind the alternator. So it looks like there's coolant just running out behind the alternator on this vehicle, and it's actually coming from this water pump right here. Okay, now some of you might be wondering, what is the big deal? You know, we've had water pumps driven by timing belts before and timing chains. Well, typically if it's driven by a timing belt, the belt's considered a wear item. Therefore, they're actually usually pretty easy to change, and the belt is not in a oil-soaked environment like a timing chain is. A timing chain has to be oiled. Whenever you do a timing belt, there's no seals that you really have to replace on the covers, and you don't have to reseal it with silicone like you do here. This timing cover is huge. You know, it's all one piece and it's covered in silicone, so you got to make sure you clean all that up. And in order to get this pump off, you have to take the timing chain off and the guides. You can see our guides here are right in front of our pump. And to get the guides off, you have to take the camshaft actuators off. And in order to do this, you also need to hold the camshafts into position, into a locked position. In order to do that, there are special tools. So in order to hold these camshafts still, you're going to have a tool just like this that fits on the flats of these camshafts right there. And when that fits over there, it locks these camshafts in place, just like this one's locked right here, so we can take the sprockets off and the actuators off in order to do our work. If you don't have those, your cams will be turning on you. You're going to be fighting them like crazy. And I mean, it's going to take 2 or 3 people probably to hold the cams in place while you do all the work, and that's just no fun. So these right here are the Ford special tools for this. The OTC does make a set. You're going to be out probably a few $100 for that. I don't know. I didn't price them out. There's also this little guy, and its job is to hold the secondary timing chain tensioner down so you can get the secondary chain off right here for the exhaust cams. And there's one on both sides that you have to do, and you got to have a special tool to hold that, or you can fashion up something that looks like this, but this works pretty good. All in all, so right now I'm on my 3rd day of working on this. I've been working on a few hours here and there. I'm about ready to put it all back together. I finally got all the parts I need, but it's very involved and it takes quite a bit of time, and that is why this job costs $1,400 or $1,500 or whatever your dealership or shop will charge you. But this one, it's been a lot of work. It's about 50-50 among the technicians on whether or not they want to drop the entire powertrain out of here so they have a lot more access, and what's quicker, whether you do it in the car or out of the car, because obviously if the engine's just sitting there, it's a lot easier than it is sitting inside the car to disassemble. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.